Okay, guys, welcome to the Chosen One podcast show. If you landed on this podcast episode, you are probably a manifesting generator and a female entrepreneur, coach, or expert. So, welcome, take a cup of tea, and binge listen to all the amazing episodes I have set up for you. Episodes to help you create the right energy and mindset to create the manifesting generator business and life of your dreams. Here we go. Hello, my beautiful podcast tribe, family, friends. How should we call it? Oh my goodness, I love tuning in. It's such beautiful weather here. It's 25.5 degrees Celsius and the sun is shining. I just had lunch in Amsterdam with my dad, who is actually in the Netherlands for a couple of days. He lives in Italy most of the time. He used to live there always, but recently, a couple of years ago, he decided to actually buy another house here in the Netherlands and then spend the winters here in the Netherlands and the summers in Italy. So he always leaves to Italy in April and gets back around October. And he was just here for a couple of days to take care of some business and to see his children. And since I'm one of them, we had lunch. And it was on a beautiful little terrace in the middle of the city. It's called Droog, which means dry, and it's this place with all these gardens, and it has this very little sweet garden in the center of the place, and that's where we actually had lunch, and it was a beautiful lunch. And I actually chose the soup because my acupuncturist told me that warm food is actually very beneficial for my body, which was something I actually already knew. And I sometimes eat a lot of soups because I also really love warm food. It's very beneficial for my body. But him reminding me was like, oh yes, let me take this soup because that really is good for my system. It's better than cold food. So that's the little chit chat. And the reason why I turned on the mic today is because I wanted to talk about two things actually. The one is the imposter syndrome, and then the second one is, what does it really mean to be unapologetically yourself? And I want to start off with being the unapologetic MG, okay? Because this is not only about showing up big time and doing all these crazy things and showing your true self. No, for me, it is a very subtle frequency, and it has to do with giving yourself the full permission to be your true, authentic self, to be vulnerable, to allow yourself all the emotions, right? So when you feel angry, that you allow yourself to be angry, that when you feel sad, that you allow yourself to be sad, that if you want to talk about something, that you allow yourself to talk about that certain thing. I feel, especially in the spiritual realm or in the spiritual world, in the 3D physical reality, there is this tendency that it's not spiritual to talk about other people or to express your emotions. We all have to be serene and almost like a Buddha. But I truly don't believe that is the true definition of spirituality. I feel that the true definition of spirituality is being your most authentic and unapologetic self. And that comes with all the emotions that we have been given by the universe and by God, right? I don't know where I read this, but I read something the other day. I really don't remember where I read it, but I read something about that. Oh yeah, I remember where I read it. I read it in a book, The Science of Getting Rich, because that's my Bible. And in that book, they were talking about how God really gives you all your desires and all your emotions and all your cravings, because He wants to encounter, He wants to live all those emotions and all those situations through us. So a lot of the times people think oh, it's not spiritual to love a Chanel bag, or it's not spiritual to be into Louis Vuitton or to wear a Rolex, right? Because those are all things I love. And it's actually something I covered in my book as well. But spirituality, like a flower, is just as spiritual as a Chanel bag, right? And money and literally everything in this world is spiritual. And we have actually put labels on certain things, and we're like, okay, it's more spiritual if you're totally into nature than it is when you are totally into a Chanel bag. It is not about where you are into what defines if it's spiritual or not. It's actually how authentic it is to you, and also how humble you are in that energy, right? So yes, I love Chanel bags, but I'm not showing off to the world oh my god, look at my whole collection of Louis Vuitton bags and Chanel bags. I love it as a piece of art. And that's what I said in the book as well. God places those desires in people who can really appreciate the art and the energy that went into that specific bag, right? So you might love flowers, and then you will really appreciate a flower when you see it. So we all have our own unique desires. And becoming the unapologetic manifesting generators that I'm which is big part of my mission, right? Really helping you step into that unapologetic role, is to that's not the right word, to embrace every single aspect of your being. And if you sometimes need to express yourself through your throat chakra to a friend about some other friend who got on your nerves, then give yourself that permission, as long as it's not from a place of meanness. As long as it's not from I'm deliberately hurting somebody here, it is totally fine to express your emotions to another person, right? At least in my case, I know that I have a tendency to feel very guilty whenever I do get angry with somebody, or when I do express my emotions about somebody else to somebody. But I've really come to that place you know what, fuck it. I'm going to be unapologetically me. I'm going to be honest. And I'm going to be honest. If somebody is going to ask me about this person, I'm just going to express my true emotions. I'm not going to be mean, but I am going to express my true emotions. And that is really for me the epiphany. Is that the right word? Epiphany is not the right word. It's the embodiment of being the unapologetic manifesting generator, when we allow ourselves every aspect of our being. So just I don't know, if you get inspired by this, just look at your life and be where am I not fully allowing myself to be my most authentic self? And just give yourself the full permission today, please, to just honor all of it, okay? Honor your fears, honor your pleasures, honor your joys, honor everything, and just fully embrace it. Okay, that's part one, okay, about the unapologeticness, on the unapologetic MG. Then the second thing, which I find very interesting, is the imposter syndrome. That word actually popped up in my mind yesterday when I was speaking to one of my one-on-one clients who's a manifesting generator 5-1, and we were talking about her new portal that she's starting. So she was in my MG Selling Queen journey. By the way, guys, if you haven't seen it, you can actually sign up for the next manifesting generator, the next Selling Queen journey. It's this upcoming full moon, the 3rd of July. We'll work together for 5 days. It's going to be freaking amazing. I already have people who signed up for this round. So if you missed it, you would have only seen it if you're on my email list, because so far I've only shared it with the email list. But you can also go to my website, sophiedivmar.com/sellingqueen, and then you can find all the information. It's for a beautiful price, and it's this is really a life-changing journey. You're gonna love it, a business-changing journey, let's put it that way. Anyways, I work with her one-on-one, but she also signed up for my Selling Queen journey. And that is what I love about my clients. They are just so sovereign, and they are just so self-led. And they're just okay, I'm in a program with Sophie, but if I see something else that I love about her, I'm going to sign up for that as well. So she signed up for the Selling Queen. And it was such a pleasure to have her frequency actually in that portal as well. And in the 5-day Selling Queen, I really prep you to really become that energetic match for the MG Selling Queen, right? It's really about becoming your unapologetic self, seeing sales as a service, seeing making money as a sacred transition. It's really an amazing journey. But after the journey, I also give away an amazing bonus, which is called the conversion offer, the irresistible conversion offer. And that is, oh my God, it's to die for. I'm telling you, this is the best bonus I have literally ever created. And it is one of those bonuses that really shows you in the moment, like, oh my God, I can literally step into a new reality instantly. I can just literally make a converting offer within 60 minutes. So she created her conversion offer, and in our one-on-one session, we dove deep into the offer, because in the bonus I actually teach you how to create the outline, and then in my one-on-one with her, we dove deeper into it, and we started talking about like how to really also deliver the content to match that thing that you promise. So for a lot of my manifesting generator clients who work with me, a lot of my clients, they do energetic works. Not all, but a lot of them do. And sometimes they feel like I can't really promise a result because what I do is so energetic, okay? Well, first and foremost, you always create a result. Also, if you just work with the energetics, there is still a way to put it in a divine masculine outline that people will understand what the value is that you provide. But what tends to happen then is when you create an amazing offer is that the imposter syndrome comes up, right? And it's like, oh my goodness, now I have to deliver. Can I deliver? And I have had this happen to me so many times. And I also had the imposter syndrome happen when I did sort of like when I used to do group coaching portals and I had like little signups. I would be like, oh my God, I feel embarrassed that I only have 4 or 5 signups. What are people gonna think? They're gonna think I'm not a good coach because I'm a business coach and I only have 5 signups, right? That used to be my story, and that's really a symptom of the imposter syndrome. But when I started working with my coach last year, I'm not working with her currently. I'm currently working with somebody else. But when I was working with her, with Jenna, she has like 80,000 plus. I don't know. She has a lot of followers on Instagram. And I really thought like, okay, if she does portals, she'll probably have like hundreds and hundreds of women signing up. And when I started working with her, I actually discovered that was not the case at all. She also has a lot of portals, even lower price portals, where just a handful of women sign up for. And you know what? I actually absolutely loved it. It actually made me appreciate her as a coach even more than if she would have gotten 100 or 200 people signing up for that portal, because she literally gave me an example of how to be completely aligned with the number of people that sign up for your portal. And it made me realize that, especially as like the front runners, which I believe we truly are, like you guys are, I am, like we are front runners, we attract a certain type of women. And these are not the type of women that are like out there with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, right? These are smaller amounts. These are the women who are already looking up, right? I maybe I told you guys before, but in my book they spoke about like the people who look down, the people who look up, and the people who look straight forward. And I tend to focus my energy in my business and in my podcast and in whatever I do on the beautiful souls that are either looking forward or are already looking up. And the majority of the world, without any disrespect, but if you look at, like, if you take a group of people randomly, you probably see that like 80% of them is still looking down, or maybe it's becoming less because we are going to a big transition, as a tribe, as a how do you call that? As like a species, we are going through a very beautiful development. So I would say like maybe it's not 80. I think maybe we are at 60 people who look down, and then we have maybe 30 people who are already looking in front of them, and then like 10, 15 people who look up. And I believe in my audience, I have a lot of women who are already looking up or are looking already in front of them. So these are smaller numbers, right? So it really taught me that that feeling of like, oh my God, I am like, people are not going to take me serious if I don't have an amazing amount of women signing up for my paid portals, that is part of the imposter syndrome. That is literally part of the imposter syndrome. And what I have encountered with this specific client is that it's always also part of the imposter syndrome to feel like, okay, what if I can't deliver the results that I promise? And this is really why I believe that coaching comes in very handy. I let myself be coached. I take a lot of courses all the time because I truly believe that it is our job to always keep developing ourselves and become better at what we do. And that we also need to teach ourselves how to become better coaches, right? How to provide our teachings, because I don't really believe that we need so much education around our teachings. I mean, we have a specific gift, you have a specific gift. The gift is the gift, right? But bringing it in a way that is truly in service to your clients, where you truly take them on a journey from A to B and really get them to a specific result, that is actually an art. It's an art, and that's an art that I'm becoming better and better and better at, right? So it's one thing to have a gift, and I believe you and we all have that gift, but to become a very good coach is another thing. And I really allowed myself to be trained in that over the last the last year mainly, like the last 12 months. I've really invested a lot of time and energy and money in becoming a better coach. And I will have to say that when I look at this 5-day Selling Queen journey, I can honestly say, like, yes, this is literally the best work I have ever put out there in a 5-day journey, right? I mean, it's not a 10K portal, but I literally feel like this could be a 10K portal. The transition that I provide there is amazing. It's literally gonna catapult you in a different area of your business, and that is our job as a coach. You really want to provide so much value that literally it is. I love to challenge my clients to create offers that they could charge 10K for. It doesn't mean that they have to charge 10K. I'm totally fine if you charge 1,000 euros for it, but I want it to be of a value. I don't care if it's a lower portal or higher portal, that people are like, oh my God, if I would have paid 10K for this, that would have been worth it, right? And how do you actually create a portal that is worth that kind of money? That really comes down to understanding how to position yourself as an expert, as a leader, as somebody who truly believes in herself and her gift, and also knows that she can take the people she's guiding from a specific space to another place, right? And that is a skill. And I feel like a lot of my clients and a lot of the people that are in this podcast show, and me including in the past, have had that fear of like, I'm not quite sure if I can deliver the results that I promise. I'm just like, and that is the imposter syndrome, right? And that insecurity is actually preventing you from making more sales, because people can energetically pick up the fact that we're not so confident about it, right? So the more confident we become and the better portals we create, the more radiant our energy gets, and of course the more you then sell. So this is a really interesting topic to dive deeper into for yourself, and to really investigate where do I still hold the imposter syndrome? What beliefs do I still have that are keeping me small, and how can I change that, and where can I invest in to change this narrative, to change this story, and to get into the role of the leader? Because the women that come to you, they come to you because they are insecure about something and they need a leader to lead them. You're not going to hire a coach that is not confident. You're not going to follow a leader who is not fully embraced the leadership role. There's a reason why people follow specific people. It's because they embrace the leadership role, right? And that is a skill. It's a skill to be a leader. And that is actually something I teach my clients when I teach them to become unapologetic. part of being unapologetic is also being the leader. And it doesn't have to be like the leader as you know it, to be like, I don't know, you have a lot of like bad examples of leaders, right? Politically speaking. But leaders, like I'm talking about the natural type of leaders, the leaders who lead with their energy, who have this attractive energy, and people are just like, oh my God, I want to be around this person. I want to follow her steps. I trust her. I see her. I want that, and I know I can create that with her help. That's the kind of leaders I how do you say that? I help, not create, because you guys we are already all those leaders. Like we just need some people that make us remember, right? So I have my people that make me remember the powerful leader that I am, and I have the blessing that I get to help my clients to remember the amazing leaders that they are. So yeah, that's about it for today. Love you guys, and we'll talk soon.